Hi y'all, welcome to my channel, and in today's video I am going to be giving you an end of year update and a review on our homeschool curriculum. What worked for us and what didn't so much work for us. So stay tuned. Okay, so if you are new, welcome to my channel, Pursuing Peace. My name is Dina and I am a homeschooling mama of 5 kiddos, 7 and under. And on this channel, I share my passions for Christ, for homeschooling, and for encouraging mamas in their faith and in this amazing, even though it's a little bit crazy and they never really want what you feed them, it's still an amazing season of motherhood. So if you'd like to join me on this journey, then click the subscribe button down below. And don't forget to click the little bell icon so you know whenever new videos pop up. You can also follow us over on Instagram at Dina_Pursuing Peace if you'd like to get an inside glimpse on what goes on around here on a daily basis. All right, you guys, so I have a lot to cover today because I'm going to try to cover all 4 of my homeschooling kiddos in this video, give you an update on our family subjects and everything. So I am just going to kind of jump into this video, which I think probably a lot of you appreciate. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to do our family subjects first, the things we do together like morning basket, circle time, classical conversations, things that we do as a family first, and then I will go individually starting with my Tot Schooler and going all the way up to my first grader / second grader, and there will be timestamps in the bottom. Maybe you don't have a Tot Schooler and you don't want to look at the Tot School stuff and you'd like to jump ahead, then you can go ahead and do so. That makes it really easy with the timestamps below. And as I go through these different subjects, I am just going to be telling you whether it worked for us or whether it didn't work for us. I'm not really sure what we are going to use next year yet. So if you have not picked out your curriculum and bought your curriculum, don't worry, you still have time. Don't feel like you need to rush into anything. You still have time to process. I would get it, I would say probably mid-summer, just to ensure that you get it in on time. But if you haven't decided yet, don't worry, it's okay. And on that note, I will be doing curriculum updates for you in the next month or 2. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see what we're going to be using next year. I will have a preschooler, like an official preschooler. It's crazy. A preschooler. Will have a kindergartner, a first grader, and a second grader. So like I said before, subscribe and make sure you hit the little bell icon, because you can hit subscribe, but if you don't hit the bell icon and select all, then it might not give you a notification for the videos that you'd like to watch. I don't know why it does that, but that's just how it is. So make sure you click the little bell icon. Okay, so the very first thing I want to update you on is our classical conversations. We are a CC family and we love it. So this is definitely one of the things that is working for us. We are part of a classical conversations community and it is, you guys, so amazing. Like I love every single person, every single child in that community. It is just, wow, God has just blessed us so much as far as CC communities. We have been just blessed beyond belief. So, but as far as the curriculum itself, we are really enjoying it. This year we did cycle 3 and it was American history, and then science was like the human body and the periodic table, and then we also did at the end kind of probability, talking about probability and how that affects experiments and all of that stuff. And so it was really neat, and it's so great to just watch our kids engage in subjects and in material that you just wouldn't normally show your kids at that age, at this age, like we were just learning about so much, through American history, and the kids were just asking so many questions, and it was just such a good, enriching environment. It was just, I really enjoy classical conversations. I wouldn't necessarily say we are a classical style as far as homeschooling. I think we're probably more eclectic because I like a lot of different styles. So I wouldn't say that, but I do really like the curriculum. I enjoy the curriculum. I like the material, the content. I like the aspect of having community, that we're all going through it together. And I like the idea of having tutors and them having like a class to go to. It's just really neat, and seeing them make friends that way. I've just really enjoyed it, and we will be doing CC next year again, Lord willing. I mean, who knows? You know, you can't say for sure about anything, right? But Lord willing, we are planning on continuing in our CC journey. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about CC, I will leave the link for their website down in the description box. I do have a few videos about what we used this past year for science and what we used this past year for history and different things like that. And that is based on CC, and I kind of show you a little bit of inside of the book. So if you'd like to see more of that, I will leave those videos down in the description box also. Now you'll see in those videos a couple of things that I had used as supplements, or I was planning on using as supplements, and some of those just didn't work out for us, like Life for Beginners by Master Books. It has nothing to do with the curriculum. I actually think it's a very good curriculum for younger kids. It just went a little bit slowly for us, and I just couldn't fit it in. It was just one of those that I couldn't fit it into our school day. I tried to do it during morning time, and it was just not working. The kids weren't as engaged as I thought they would be, so I had to give it up. But I know that it is a good curriculum, so I'm not bashing it at all. In fact, I'm kind of trying to figure out how we can still use it at some point. It's just one of those that it might not work for us as well, and so we just might have to put it aside for now. Or actually, we did put it aside, and I still have the book, and so we'll see. Botany is coming up in cycle 1 of not the Good and the Beautiful, of Classical Conversations, and so I know there's a section on plants in that book, so I don't know, we'll see what happens in the next few months or so. Maybe I'll do it over the summer. I don't know. I kind of already planned over the summer. I'm trying not to do too much. You guys help me. I'm trying not to just fill our days with a whole bunch of stuff, because then I get stressed out. The kids don't enjoy it as much, and so I'm trying to just kind of relax about it all, but I want to do it all. Oh, I just want to do it all. It's all so good. So anyway, so that was one of the things that didn't work for us so well, which I'm kind of bummed about, but I'm not saying that it's not a good curriculum, because I think it is. Okay, the next thing I want to update you guys on is our circle time and morning basket. So our circle time, I have a few videos showing what we do during that time. This is our 4th year that we did circle time. And my older ones are starting to, they enjoy it, but they are starting to grow out of it. So it's becoming a little bit more of a distraction to the younger ones. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with circle time in the future. I like it because it's interactive, but I don't know. I don't know if maybe I'm going to do it with just the little kids and not the older ones. It really didn't take very long. Most days it took less than 10 minutes. It was just doing our calendar, and then we would rotate throughout, like doing consonants and sign language and ABCs and all of that stuff. And I feel like they learned so much from it. But again, we did it throughout the year, and it was working fine for us. And then we hit probably about mid-March, and it kept being one of those things that we were like, okay, we don't have time for it, let's just skip it, even though it's only 10 minutes. I know it was just one of those things we weren't enjoying as much anymore, and it was becoming more of a struggle. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen with circle time in our family. I don't know, because I go back and forth. I think they learn a lot, but the older ones are kind of past it now, so maybe I'll just do it with the little ones, or maybe I'll do a condensed version of circle time where we just do it at the table. I might get another little calendar that's like not on our wall, but you know, I can have there. I'm not really sure, but let me know if y'all do circle time. Let me know how y'all do it, and if you do it at the table, you know, what do y'all use for circle time? So leave me a comment below. Help me out here. And so the next thing is morning basket. I really enjoyed morning basket this year, you guys. But again, it was one of those things come like mid-March, we were struggling to get through it. Oh, we called it symposium time. So the kids would be like, are we having symposium time? And half of them would be excited and half of them would be like, can we skip symposium time today? And half of the time I was excited and half of the time I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and just skip it today. So I'm not really sure if I was maybe trying to cram too much into it, but we weren't doing a whole lot in symposium time, but it felt like it was just taking up a lot of the day, even though it was only taking up maybe half an hour or so. So I'm not really sure, again, with morning basket or symposium, what we're going to do in the future. I do like it, and I like the read alouds, and I like our little bins of activities, of quiet activities that I give the toys as we're doing read alouds, and just I like the different things that we get to talk about. But I always feel like I'm rushing during symposium time because we haven't even done school yet, like our language arts and math. And so I'm always trying to like, okay, well, we don't have time for questions, let's kind of just get through it, you know. And so I don't want it to be that, so I'm not really sure how to fix that. So I don't know. I'm gonna think about it, pray about it over the summer, and let you know what I come up with. Another thing that we tried to do during circle time, or actually during symposium, that didn't work for us was my story from Master Books. It was another one that I was so looking forward to. And then we started it and the kids just weren't engaged. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the style of Master Books that my kids just, I don't know if it's too slow or too much reading or not enough activities or what it is that my kids just don't. It's very hard to keep them engaged. It's very hard to keep them focused on what we're doing. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. Again, I'm not bashing the curriculum because I think it's good. I think it's just maybe our family, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Like, you know, some things work for some families and some things don't. And sometimes you can't really pinpoint what it is. You can't say, well, that one has too much reading, or that one is just not, you know, there's not enough experiments. You know, you can't say that because it's different. Every family is different, and it might even be just the season that we're in right now with a lot of little kids. So I'm not sure, but that was another one that didn't quite work for us this year. Okay, so let's move on to my kids and their individual subjects. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Adeline, and she is in Tot School. She started out the year as a 2.5-year-old, and she has a birthday right around Christmas time, so right in the middle of the year. So now she's 3, and now she's almost 3.5. I can't even believe that. But I have a whole video of what we were using for her, and I'll leave that down in the description box below. So I will show you the things that were a huge hit with her, and one of them was this My Learning folder. Okay, and so I have a whole video showing you this and showing you even like how to put it together and all kinds of stuff like that. So basically what these are, they're just Velcroed on, and she matches them, you know. So I mean, what kid wouldn't like this? So here are fruits, and it's stuff on the other side too. And again, I have a whole video of this if you'd like to get a better look at it on the inside. But she really loved this one. I got it on Etsy, and you basically just print it out and put it together yourself in a binder. And this is her idea of school. It was this, like, she thought that this was her school book. And so we enjoyed doing these a lot this year. Another one that she really liked was this one, and this is a toddler learning folder. This is from JDA. If you know her channel, she is wonderful. I will leave it linked down below, but she sells this on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it's kind of the same idea. It's got, you know, shapes in here. It's got colors up here. Now this one, you guys, this is 4 years old. Like, I put this together 4 years ago for my then boy who was in Tot School. I didn't even call it Tot School. I called it, I don't even know what I called it, but he was a toddler. So it's just very simple. And again, it's just Velcroed on, and then you just put it on like this. I have a video showing us doing this for the very first time, and she loved it. She always wanted to come back to it. So both these folders, this one here and then this one here, she absolutely loved. Like I said, these were her idea of school. When I said, okay, let's go do school, she would go and set everything up and she'd pull one of these folders out. And so those two I highly recommend as far as Tot School. She could even do those on her own. I wanted to have the one-on-one time with her, but when I first printed out and set up that binder that we've had for 4 years, I set it up as something that my toddler at the time could do on his own. So it's very much something that they can do on their own, or you can do it with them if you'd like to. So another thing that we used was the toddler activity pack from Confessions of a Homeschooler. And if you have been around my channel for very long, you know I love Confessions of a Homeschooler. I love Erica and everything that she does over there. This one, it was one of the ones, unfortunately, I hate to even say it because it wasn't this, it was me. I didn't do enough work on it. But it was one of the things that didn't work out for us, not because it is bad, but I think I was just trying to do too much. I only did school with her for like 10 or 15 minutes a day, so I think I was trying to push too much onto her. And so honestly, like, if you want to do school with your toddler, this one is really good. And I would say go there first. Look at all of these different activities. Like, I would say go here first, and then maybe have the other ones as like a supplement or something like that, because this is really, really good. But I just didn't give it enough time. I didn't organize it very well. But I will share something that she did enjoy. I would pull these out. You can't even tell what it is. They're little, here we go, baby. They're little do-a-dot pages. So Erica has put in here, I think it's 0 to 20. So here is one that is blank. So here's the number 14. She can't trace it yet, but she can do the dot to dot. We have the big do-a-dot markers, like they're kind of like bingo markers, and she loved these. So anytime I pulled these out, she loved. And I would pull these out if I needed her, for whatever reason, I couldn't do school with her that day and I needed her to do something on her own for her 10 minutes. I would pull these out and let her do as many of them as she wanted. She could pick whatever colors she wanted, and she really enjoyed these. So this one with the toddler pack from Confessions of a Homeschooler, I don't want to say it didn't work, because I really don't think it's the curriculum's fault. This one specifically was because I was trying to do too much and I just didn't get to it. It was just easier to pull out the other binders because I didn't organize it well. So it was just easier to do the other thing. But, and here's a little sneak peek for next year, we are going to be doing the Letter of the Week program from Confessions of a Homeschooler, and it has a lot of this in it. And so I'm looking forward to that because it is near and dear to my heart. That Letter of the Week program was the very first thing that we did in homeschool, and I just love all of the different activities. I think it is one of those Tot School / preschool curriculums that doesn't get enough credit for what it is. It is so good. And I have a video showing you all about that program, and I will probably show you a little bit more next year when we start to do it again. Okay, so that was my Tot Schooler. Now I'm going to move on to my preschooler slash pre-K little one. She started out the year when she was 4 years old. Her birthday is at the very end of August, so she turns that age for the entire school year. So she was 4 years old, a brand new 4-year-old when we started. And she did the pre-K level from the Good and the Beautiful. And she is currently in the level K primer from the Good and the Beautiful. And you probably know whether or not these worked for us already because we've been using them for so long, but they worked so well and it was exactly what I had anticipated. My 4-year-old she's right in the middle of my 5 kids, and she is one, like, she was talking full sentences at like 1.5 years old.
My nation, under God, in the principle, this is for us.
Good job. It blew my mind. Like, I was so, I was like, oh my goodness, this little girl is gonna be smarter than me. She's gonna be like a 3rd grader and she's gonna know more than me and she's gonna be able to speak more eloquently than I can. Which, I mean, praise God for that, but it's a little bit intimidating. And so I knew that she was gonna fly through the pre-K level, and she did. And the thing is, we didn't take it super fast because I wanted it to just be slow, and I wanted her to enjoy it. She already knew her alphabet because we did the letter of the week program, and I do a thing with flashcards that teaches all of my kids their letter recognition like super fast and super easy. I have a video about that if you'd like to see how I do that. But the pre-K level, it was so easy and so just, it was so nice. She had no trouble with the pre-K level at all. Then we got to the level K primer, and this is where she started learning how to read, and now she's really like reading, you guys. Like today we did an activity where we were coloring a camel, and Abigail, my oldest, was like, oh, we have a color from Arteza, a color pencil that's called Camel Brown. And Aubrey's like, oh, well, let me go get it. And so she went, and she could read well enough that she could pull out the one that says Camel Brown. And I was just like, oh, okay, she can read that. And so it's just really neat to see her progress. She's starting to read the little reader that comes with the level K primer, and if you can see here, they're just, you know, okay, well, that's one of the story's titles, and then you can see it's just little easy readers. And she took this to the back in her room, like one of the first days she had it, and she was just like, I just want to read all of it. And so this is just kind of cute and easy and simple. She does learn 3 sight words in this one. It's actually 4. I think it's I, so the word I, the word a, and the word the, and the word see. So she learns those 4, and she has learned those already, and so she is working through those. She's working through the beginner books, box A, and then eventually we will get to box C or box B, probably maybe over the summer-ish. I'm planning on keeping them reading, even though we're doing other things over the summer. So yes, so everything that we used for her, we loved. Now at the beginning of the school year, I did start her on math level K from the Good and the Beautiful, and we got up to lesson 21, and she was doing very well in it. She was doing great in it, but then the Good and the Beautiful said that they were releasing a new math, and so I decided to kind of hold off, and I decided let's go ahead and stop that and let's focus on language arts, because math, it was just something, because she just kept wanting to do school. 15 minutes wasn't enough for her. Like, she wanted to do more, so I just added on the math for that reason. But if it's something that we didn't need to do, then I decided, all right, you know what, let's just stop the math there, and then it's kindergarten math, right? So we'll just start her on level K when the Good and the Beautiful comes out with the new math, which I am getting as soon as it comes out. So again, subscribe if you want to see flip throughs and all kinds of stuff, do lessons with us and all of that stuff on the new Good and the Beautiful math. So even though we didn't continue working with the math this year, it was something that worked for us. We had just decided, because of just having a lot to do in a single day, I just decided to kind of go ahead and stop doing the math for this year and just wait till next year. So that was my preschooler, and now I'm gonna move on to my kindergartner. And y'all, if you have been with me these last couple of years, you know it has been a struggle in kindergarten this year. Like, we have been on the struggle bus. We rode it all the way through. I thought that he was gonna finish kind of over the summer last year, but we just kept having to stop and having to stop, especially towards the beginning, like that after that first unit, and then after that second unit, we stopped again for a little bit, and maybe even the third unit, I don't remember. So it took us 2 years to get through the Good and the Beautiful level K with my boy. That doesn't always happen, but that happened in our circumstance. But I am so happy that we pushed through, and that we paused, and that I didn't try to kind of force him to keep going just so we can finish in the 1 year. I'm happy that we took the pauses. I just read the beginner books. I read out loud to them. Like, we practiced our reading just very comfortably, you know. We added on reading eggs also, which is kind of a reading app that helped him a lot. So I just helped him kind of get through those little bumps that we had along the way. And I am happy to say he finished it. He finished it. I'm so happy. Like, we finished on March. So at the beginning of March, I wrote it right here, and I kept meaning to post something about it, and I just kept forgetting. But oh my gosh, you guys, when we finished that last day, I was like singing praises, like hallelujah, and he was too. He was so excited. He was like, I can't believe I finished my kindergarten book. I can't believe it. And it's just so good. And you guys, his reading, that's the best part. It's not that we finished it. The best part is that his reading is so good now. Like, his reading, his grammar, his spelling is getting better. Like, it's all getting better, because this doesn't only cover phonics and reading, it's spelling and literature and grammar and punctuation and art appreciation. He loves and enjoys all of those things now because he's got a good grasp on it. And oh, you guys, this is just such a blessing. Like, it was so nice, and I'm happy that we just kept going with it, and I didn't try to jump around and do, you know, another curriculum, which sometimes that's what you have to do. But I decided, let's just wait, let's just pause, because I know this curriculum is good. You just need a little bit more time, and that's okay. And so we just waited, we took our time, and it took us 2 full years, and that's okay. And now he is so happy. He's going on to 1st grade, and he's just so incredibly happy about that. And now I will say, you can be in 1st grade and doing the level K. The levels don't necessarily correspond to grade levels. It's just with my boy and his very logical mind, I felt like he wouldn't quite understand that he's in the 1st grade if he's still in his kindergarten book. And that is just all personal preference, honestly. You can do whatever you feel is right for your family. And I just decided to do that. And it was okay, because now I want to give him like a kindergarten graduation, because we do that real big in our family. And I have a whole video showing how we do that if you want to check that out. But we're gonna do that, have kindergarten graduations. We're gonna actually be able to do it with both sets of grandparents there, and I'm just so excited for him, because he wouldn't have understood that if we made a big deal about him graduating kindergarten and then he was still in his kindergarten book, like, honestly, like, that's just the way his brain thinks. He's very black and white, my boy. So yes, so we finished it. We are moving on. And you guys, again, this is wonderful. It really is wonderful. One of my favorite curriculums. But specifically with level K, it's a jump. It's a hard jump for the kids. And when they're learning to read, no matter what curriculum you're using, learning to read is a chore. And so just taking those breaks, taking those pauses, not trying to push him, that was just the best. It was the best, and he finished it, and I feel like he has a very strong foundation for reading, and it's only going to get better from here. So yes, needless to say, this one worked for us. The other thing that I had my kindergarten using was level K. He was still on his level K math, and this was book 2. So he finished this, he finished this maybe 2 days ago. And he was so excited that he finally finished it. And math, you guys, math is something he gets. He gets math. It makes sense to him. And he not flew through the book, but our lessons were honestly like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And if you know the math from the Good and the Beautiful, like their current math, it can take a little bit to do a lesson, but he just flew through these because he could do all of the student worksheets on his own. He could do the bonus activities on his own. He could do the daily dose almost on his own completely. So it was really easy for him to get through the math. So the math worked for us. And honestly, like, I'm kind of gonna miss level K math because I really enjoyed it. But I know whatever the Good and the Beautiful is gonna come out with is gonna be so good too. So we're gonna do that for him next year. And something I forgot to mention for my preschooler is her handwriting. We are doing the level K handwriting from the Good and the Beautiful. And she is loving it. Like, see, it's so simple. It's working on each letter individually. It's coloring a lot. It is copying things down. So it's got these prompts here. So it's got word, she traces, and then it's always got an activity. So this one, it was just the vase, and it tells her to draw flowers in the jar and color them. So she drew the little flowers in the jar, and she really enjoyed this one. She's actually not completely done with this one because handwriting is another one of those things that if we don't have time for it, we skip it and go on to like the meat of our homeschooling day, unfortunately. But we do try to do handwriting all the time. But she is on page 55, and I believe there's 100 pages in here. Yep, 102 pages. So she is probably right in the middle. And we're just gonna keep doing this next year. And I don't know if I'm gonna move her up once she finishes it, because handwriting is one of those things that, you really have to work the muscles. The muscles have to develop. You can't just kind of push and keep going forward. At some point you can, but like I said, she's only 4 years old, so she's still kind of developing those muscles in her hand. So we are definitely still doing this, and we will probably keep it up for next year. And then going back to my kindergartner, he was doing level 1 from the Good and the Beautiful. So this one, you see, is kind of the same thing. It's still print, tracing, and then coloring. I don't know if you did that right. Yeah, color the numbers. And then this one you can see here, again, tracing, and they're working on their first name and last name. You can't see that a whole lot. Oh, but then it's got like a fun little maze game, and then some more stuff down here. And so they're really liking these handwriting books. They only do 1 page a day, and it seems very simple and very easy for them, and so they're enjoying it. Okay, so that was my kindergartner. Moving on to my first grader / second grader. She's kind of past all of it at this point, but she is doing level 4 of the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. She finished level 3 this past year. See, she is one of the ones that she likes it. She likes handwriting. She's good at it. Level 3 is a cursive one, and so she would just she'd do a couple of pages, and even in this one, she just started it. She's already done 11 pages, and I think that's just like 3 days worth of work. Because she just really enjoys it, and she loves doing all of the little, you can see here, it continues with cursive, and she enjoys doing all of the little drawings that they have you do. She She really enjoys drawing. So yes, so she is on level 4. Again, the levels don't necessarily correspond to the grades, especially in the handwriting. Like I said, once their muscles are developed, then they can go as fast as they want, especially with the handwriting. It's so easy to do. So I let her do as many pages as she wants to on any given day. So the handwriting from The Good and the Beautiful is working well for us. And she was another one that it took us about 2 years to do level 1 from The Good and the Beautiful. Now with her, I didn't have a lot of trouble. With her, it was specifically about not having enough time. And the reason for that is just a bunch of different things. We are a military family. We moved around a lot during her first grade year, and didn't just having the time to really, dive into the language arts with her. It was just, because it comes so easy for her. It was one of the ones that like, oh, well, maybe we can do language arts a little bit later because she can already read really well and she can understand the grammar part, and it's just the lessons for her with the language arts just come very easily. But also she is one of the ones that likes to spend a lot of time on a lesson, especially if there's artwork involved, if there is like an activity involved. She enjoys staying in that activity for a long time. So it just took us a long time to do it. But she finished her level 1 a few months ago. We're actually going into level 2 and we are loving level 2 so far. It is so great. There's a lot more independent activity in level 2, which I am enjoying because she can do it on her own while I start doing work with Solomon. I start doing his math or whatever I need to do with anybody else, or just make lunch or whatever I need to do. She can do that on her own. So I am actually really excited about level 2. And so language arts for us from The Good and the Beautiful is working out perfectly. I am excited about it. And the next thing that she hasn't quite finished yet, but she is working on math level 1 from The Good and the Beautiful. And this is book 2. Math doesn't come as easily for her as it does for Solomon, but she is fine in it. Like, she enjoys it. And so that's the thing with my wonderful Abby, is that she enjoys it so much that it takes us a while to get through it, because she wants to do all the games more than once, and she wants to do all the activities more than once. And when she does have something, a little bit of a struggle in a certain area, then it takes her a little bit longer, because then she gets distracted, and it's just all kinds of stuff. And you guys probably know what I'm talking about. I'm sure it's not just my Abby. But she is doing really well, and I can just see her thriving. She can read the clock really well, an analog clock at this point. She's learning about fractions like halves and, a quarter of something and an eighth of something, and she's learning about that really well, and she's grasping it really well. She can count money at this point. Like, it's just a great program, and I highly recommend it. I really love it. I know it's going away, but like I said before, whatever follows it, I think is going to be not only as great, but better. Because honestly, with this one, and I've mentioned this before, some of the games were a little bit much for me. I was having just a lot of trouble, and that's just me, that's my personality. I don't like to read instruction. I'd rather be told what to do and shown what to do. It's just the way that I learn. And so when I go and I have to read the instructions, for a lot of things, like it stresses me out, y'all. Like, I'm getting a little bit stressed right now. No, but it does stress me out a little bit. And then if the kids are running around all over the place, so a lot of the times, we did skip the games, but she loves these games so much that we have maybe 10 more lessons, and I am making it a point to not skip the games anymore for the rest of these lessons, because she learns so well from these games that I am just going to do it. I'm going to, no matter how stressed it is or whatever, I'm going to do the games, because I love the time that I get to spend with her playing the game, and I know that she's actually really learning well. So the math level 1 really worked for us. All right, you guys, well, that was everything. That was all of the curriculum that we have used this year, what worked for us, what didn't work for us. And if you can hear my little one, my baby. She is calling me right now, so I need to go and get her. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you know whenever new videos pop up. You can also follow us over on Instagram at Dina_pursuing_peace. All right, you guys, well, I hope you are having a blessed day. I gotta go get my little one. So I will see you next time with another video. Bye. Tongue twister, Peter Piper, pickle peppers. I hear water. I'm not really sure where it's coming from. Right for you guys, so this, this is very awkward. At the beginning of the school year, I did, bleh.